Hi, welcome to the 8th flashback. This is the first part of our exploration of the best dark romance films. The first story centers on Marin, a teenage girl who one night violently bites off a friend's finger. The following morning, she finds her father has abandoned her, leaving only a small sum of money, some documents, and an audio tape with an explanation. In this recording, he reveals that Marin's mother was a cannibal, or something like zombie. We also learn that Marin had killed her caretaker as a child, indicating her own cannibalistic nature. With the realization that her father had fled her mother, taking Marin with him to a new city, she embarks on a journey to find her mother. With only her documents and a small amount of money, Marin travels to her birthplace, hoping for answers. Along the way, she encounters other cannibals, who recognize her kind from her scent. Among them is a middle-aged man who is drawn to her, though Marin finds it hard to connect with him. Another figure in her journey is a young man with whom she forms an emotional connection. The film is directed by Luca Guadagnino and stars Taylor Russell, Timothée Chalamet, Michael Stuhlbarg, Mark Rylance, Jessica Harper, and David Gordon. With a runtime of 2 hours and 10 minutes, it fits into the family horror genre. While it's not overly scary, it's best suited for audiences aged 14 or older. I genuinely rate this film highly. It's definitely worth watching at least once, appealing to both general audiences and cinephiles looking for a unique, quality experience.
Tu peux mettre ta webcam, on a plus que toutes les deux.
The second film follows Emily, a receptionist at a service company in financial distress, who accepts Camille, a medical student, as a roommate. Soon after, the two develop a romantic relationship. Meanwhile, Nora, also a student, is mistakenly identified as an adult film actress and online stripper due to her resemblance to one, leading her to drop out following an incident at university. This film actually follows the intertwined lives of 4 characters: Amber, Nora, Emily, and Camille, whose storylines cross briefly. It explores the passionate and intense relationships among them, showcasing many captivating and beautifully crafted erotic scenes. Directed by Jacques Audiard and featuring Lucy Jiang, Makita Samba, Noémie Merlan, and Jenny Beattie, the film runs for 1 hour and 46 minutes. This isn't a family-friendly movie by any means and should not be watched in a family setting. I would give it a solid rating as it appeals to the general audience and, at the same time, caters to more discerning viewers looking for a well-made and distinctive film. Antoine is a successful DJ who has recently fallen in love, but he finds himself in emotional turmoil, torn between his new partner and the family he once had, including his ex-wife and child. Set in a different time and place, the film juxtaposes this storyline with that of Jacqueline, a mother in 1960s France. Jacqueline cares for her young son Laurent, who has Down syndrome. Laurent, in his innocent, childlike world, falls for Veronique, which mirrors Antoine's own passionate love for his new girlfriend, whom he prioritizes over his past family. Directed by Jean-Marc Vallée and starring Vanessa Paradis, Kevin Brand, Hélène Florent, and Evelyne Brochu, the film has a runtime of approximately 2 hours. This 18-plus rated drama isn't family-friendly and appeals to those with a refined taste for well-crafted, intense narratives. Let the Right One In, a film about Oscar, a 12-year-old boy in Sweden who faces relentless bullying at school. He meets Eli, a mysterious girl who has recently moved in next door, and the two form a close bond in their isolated childhood worlds. However, Eli is not an ordinary child. She relies on a middle-aged man, who appears to be her guardian, to procure blood for her by committing nighttime murders. Directed by Thomas Alfredson and starring Lena Leanderson and Cora Hedebrandt, this haunting film runs for 1 hour and 54 minutes and is a masterpiece in the horror genre. While it's suitable for teenagers 13 and older, the eerie and poignant story is compelling enough to appeal to general audiences and cinephiles alike. The film's unique atmosphere and cultural elements add to its allure. A U.S. remake titled Let Me In was released in 2010, though it falls short of capturing the essence of the original Swedish version. Additionally, a series adaptation, Let the Right One In, premiered in 2022, offering a new take on this dark yet tender story.
Calm down!
Connie and Edward are a happy, middle-aged couple living a stable life with their child, until one day, Connie encounters a charming young Frenchman. After accepting his invitation to heal a minor injury at his home, Connie's fascination with him grows, leading her to infidelity. This affair, however, isn't destined to remain hidden from Edward. Directed by Adrian Lyne, the film stars Richard Gere, Diane Lane, and Olivier Martinez. With a runtime of about 2 hours, it's certainly not a family-friendly movie, but it holds wide appeal due to Lyne's signature direction. Even if it's not flawless, the film is noteworthy and memorable, especially for fans of romance and drama.
He leído tu novela.
¿Cómo te llamas?
Lucia.
In another layered narrative, Lucia y el Sexo presents the life and passionate romance of Lucia and her boyfriend Lorenzo. This story, directed by Julio Medem, is told in a non-linear style, blending memories, romance, and sensuality through fragmented storytelling. Starring Paz Vega, Tristan Ulloa, Najwa Nimri, Elena Anaya, and Javier Camara, the film runs for 2 hours and 8 minutes. This 18-plus film isn't suitable for family viewing, but is a treat for audiences who appreciate unique narratives and Spanish cinema.
Das Lied bitte. Haben Sie nicht verstanden? Mal sehen, was gleich passiert.
Spiel.
Trauriger Sonntag, dein Abend ist nicht mehr weit. Mit schwarzen Schatten teil ich meine Einsamkeit. Schließ ich die Augen, dann seh ich sie 100-fach. Ich kann nicht schlafen und sie werden nie mehr wach.
Spiel für mich.
Moving to a somber historical romance follows Laszlo, a Jewish restaurant owner, his girlfriend Ilona, and Andreas, a pianist newly hired at Laszlo's establishment. Set in Budapest as Nazi influence looms, the film unravels a tragic love triangle, especially as Andreas's haunting song, composed for Ilona, gains disturbing fame for causing suicides. Directed by Rolf Schubel and featuring Joachim Kroll, Erika Marosan, Stefano Dionisi, and Ben Becker, this 1 hour and 50-minute film delves deeply into the despair of pre-war Budapest. This film is not for family audiences, but rather for those seeking an unconventional romantic tragedy. I'd give it an excellent rating, especially for viewers who appreciate well-crafted, emotionally rich cinema.
That's my low. And these are my lilies. I love lilies. Lily's a nice name, don't you think?
Beautiful.
Lolita follows Hubert, a middle-aged professor of English literature who has recently immigrated to America. During his search for a new home, he becomes infatuated with a 14-year-old girl named Lolita. Blinded by his attraction, he decides to marry her mother, inadvertently placing himself as Lolita's guardian. When his wife dies in an accident, Hubert's relationship with Lolita deepens in a way that leads to troubling consequences. Directed by Adrian Lyne, the film stars Jeremy Irons, Melanie Griffith, Frank Langella, and Dominique Swain, running for 2 hours and 18 minutes. Rated 18+, this adaptation of the famous novel is a thought-provoking film for both general audiences and those with a keen interest in literature and complex storytelling.
Amuse me.
Well, you're French, aren't you?
Isn't it dangerous?
Not if you know what you're doing.
They say love is sweet, but nothing lasts forever.
In Bitter Moon, Nigel and Fiona are a young, happy couple celebrating their 7th wedding anniversary with a cruise to India. On board, they meet a middle-aged couple entangled in a toxic yet passionate relationship. Oscar, a writer paralyzed and embittered, recounts the turbulent history with his wife Mimi in intimate and dark detail. Over several nights, Oscar's stories shift Nigel and Fiona's own relationship dynamics. Directed by Roman Polanski and featuring Emmanuel Sanger, Hugh Grant, Peter Coyote, and Kristen Scott Thomas, this 2-hour and 19-minute film is enhanced by a haunting score by Vangelis. Rated R, it's an engaging choice for discerning viewers and fans of Polanski's work, offering a deep dive into the complexities of obsession and passion. In Jules and Jim, directed by François Truffaut, we explore the artistic and emotional bond between two men, Austrian writer Jules and Frenchman Jim. United by their passion for art, they encounter Catherine, a woman whose intense spirit and beauty captivate them both. Jules and Catherine eventually start a relationship and have a child, but over time, Catherine drifts toward Jim, forming an intricate love triangle. Set against a backdrop of pre- and post-World War I Europe, this 1 hour and 45-minute black and white classic stars Jean Moreau, Oscar Werner, and Henri Serre. With its rich narrative and historic cinematic style, Jules and Jim is highly regarded among cinephiles and fans of French New Wave cinema. Well, friends, that wraps up our introduction to 10 remarkable films in the main section. Now, let's transition to a brief segment called Jumping Popcorn. First up is Love, 2015, directed by Gaspar Noé. Approach this film with caution, as it features scenes that may not be suitable for all viewers. Even if you're open-minded or watching with a partner, it might not be the right choice. However, I believe Love offers a fascinating and authentic exploration of love, making it a compelling watch for those prepared for its content. Next, we have A Bigger Splash, 2015, also directed by Luca Guadagnino, who was featured in the main section. Although I considered discussing this film there, I felt other films deserved more emphasis in that context. Nonetheless, A Bigger Splash is a fantastic film that showcases Guadagnino's talent, and I highly recommend it to anyone interested in his work. He's a director whose films are generally enjoyable and worth watching. Finally, we conclude with A Short Film About Love, 1988, a poignant short directed by one of cinema's most esteemed filmmakers, Krzysztof Kieślowski. Running at just 86 minutes, it was created for television and presents a specific narrative that might resonate best with a discerning audience. It's a beautifully crafted film that encapsulates the complexity of love in a unique way. Thank you for joining me in exploring some of the best romantic, dark, and erotic films. Stay healthy and happy. Goodbye.
What's your definition of love?
Love is kind of like
You know, you see a fog in the morning when you wake up before the sun comes out. It's just for a little while and then it burns away.
Really?
Absolutely.
Burns away?
Yeah. Quickly. It's just, love is a fog that burns with the first daylight of reality.